Muammar Gaddafi.
Muammar Gaddafi.
Muammar Gaddafi.
Muammar Gaddafi.
Gaddafi led Libya with an iron fist for 42 years, and the Libyan people had had enough. Protests had begun since the 1980s, but none of them had an outbreak like this one.
It's at a basketball stadium. And they were school children who were told to come attend this hearing, but they didn't know what was going to happen. See, this is the guy who's on trial. This is just the most powerful image of the whole archive, is this young student sitting in this sports stadium all by himself, being questioned by this revolutionary court. And he knows he's going to die. I mean, they just hung the other guy.
It was the 15th of February 2011 when the protests first started occurring. The arrest of Fatih Turbet, a Libyan lawyer and a human rights activist, had outraged millions of Libyans, and at first that was the sole purpose of the protest. After the Libyans realized they could take this further, a fellow very brave rebel put gas tanks in the back of his car and ran it into the gates of one of the biggest battalions in Benghazi. This allowed the citizens to get armor and weapons, and soon enough, after 1 day and a half of fighting, Benghazi was freed. The rebels then made it their sole purpose to free the rest of Libya, city by city.
قد تندمون يوم لا ينفع الندم الذي بيته من الزجاج لا يرجم الناس بالحجارة. من أنتم؟
Gaddafi responded to this with a very powerful speech stating how he will erase Libya, street by street, inch by inch, followed by his son Saif al-Islam's speech, who stated that there will be a mass civil war on the country if the protests don't stop. March 2011 was the very pinnacle point of the Libyan revolution. A lot of things happened during this month. Gaddafi started using major weapons, very advanced armor, and rocket shooters. Gaddafi used those to bomb Brega, retake Zawiya, and Bin Jawad. On March 19th, the NATO joined the battle, but only with aerial troops. They imposed a no-fly zone over Libya. This allows Gaddafi to bomb the people, but allowed the NATO to bomb Gaddafi's army. And I'm very happy to say that without that advantage, and without the help of NATO, Libya would not be free right now. The following day, Gaddafi forces shelled the outskirts of my hometown, Misrata, and launched ground attacks on the city, which were repelled by rebel resistance, while NATO aircrafts attacked government vehicles and a rocket launcher. On August 20th, rebel forces entered the capital city of Tripoli. This basically meant the war was over. Just a few more weeks of fighting and it would be done. Libyans would get a glance of freedom. Some of the rebels entered by sea and some entered by pushing towards Tajura, a small city on the border of Tripoli.
In a Wednesday radio address, Gaddafi vowed to fight until victory or death. He called on his supporters to do the same. And loyalists left in Tripoli are answering their fallen leader's call to arms. Gaddafi's diehard supporters are still launching attacks on the Bab al-Azizia compound and the areas around it. From rooftops in the capital, determined snipers are able to stop entire columns of rebel fighters from advancing. Whole neighborhoods are still being cut off. The rebels say they're in control of the airport, but are still fighting Gaddafi's supporters in nearby streets.
The Libyan people definitely earned their freedom. Let's ask some Libyan citizens what they thought about post-revolution Libya and what they think about pre-revolution Libya.
Like in this Gaddafi's regime before the war, like most of my life. Life was very kind of smooth sometimes, but as you see, like from outside, you go to the street, people are nice and everything. The security level was not bad, but the thing is, when you start like a little bit digging inside, you feel like there is a lot of people suffering over there. There is a lot of intensity in terms of the freedom of speech, relaxation about talking any kind of political ideas, issues. There were a lot of uncomfortable people. There is no trust. People cannot talk to each other. People cannot walk in the street and say whatever opinion they have. Because of a person who lived in Tripoli, I've heard a lot about people disappeared and being killed, and they've never even found them, just because of really simple matter. So In terms of like economical side, people were like, I think the wealth were like concentrated in just 2% of the Libyans, and the rest were like suffering a lot in terms of this. We were looking and very happy with just the very basic stuff, like the food and the health and what they call it, the education system was very basic. The most uncomfortable topic for everyone was talking about Gaddafi's regime. No one can talk about it, no one can mention anything about it. Even saying something good about it, it's just people will think about you are belong to the regime, they cannot believe you at all. So so as a person who grew up, went to the universities and everything, that was missing. That was a big chunk of like normal life was not there. And you can see a really big problem over there. On the economical side was really bad. Just because we don't see it in the media at the time, because there's no media, that's why. But it was very bad, especially if you go outside of Tripoli. Because I spent like most of the time here after the war in the UK, so I'm not exactly sure how can I reflect this, but because my family lives there, there is a huge difference in terms of freedom, in terms of economical side. Yeah, the security level dropped a little bit, but we need to take time just to say what's going to happen. But to be honest with you, there's a lot of media happened, a lot of freedom, everyone can talk about whatever they can, and there's more enthusiasm for people to love their countries, and that's a huge thing. Because during Gaddafi's time, we thought that it's like Gaddafi's farm and we don't care. We don't care about the country. But especially after the revolution for 1 year, everyone cleaning the streets by themselves. Just they are going volunteering, doing a lot of volunteering stuff. But during Gaddafi's time, I've never seen it in almost 28 years. No one can do anything. You can't go to the beach and clean it down. So there is a lot of like kind of goodwilling for the country for the people to serve their country at that time. Yeah. And the outcome was really good. But I think I need to take it a little bit, and we have to give it a time. Revolution cannot happen in 2 or 1 year or 3 years. You need to give it like enough time to think about it and see and evaluate it. Because if you look for any other revolutions, it took like long time, longer than 3 years to evaluate it. So it's
2 years ago, Libyans celebrated their revolution and the overthrow of Colonel Gaddafi. But now the militia, who played a central role in the uprising, are endangering any hopes of stability. More than 100 people have been murdered in Benghazi, where the revolution began, and the embattled government in the capital has failed to confront a growing threat from jihadis. Our international editor, Lindsay Hilsum, who covered the revolution from the beginning, has returned to Tripoli. She travelled to Benghazi and on to Seba to ask whether the hopes of 2 years ago have now been dashed.
On a quiet Mediterranean night, you might think all is well in Tripoli, until suddenly it's not. We filmed from our hotel balcony as 2 rival militia clashed. It turned into the worst fighting since the overthrow of Colonel Gaddafi. Libya's weak government has no control. The men with guns are a law unto themselves. The brigades who spearheaded the Libyan revolution now threaten to destroy it.
As for now, Libya is a struggling country. Government has no power over the people, and a military leader by the name of Khalifa Haftar overthrown the government and has even come to power. As for me and the rest of Libya, we can do nothing but wait and hope all ends well.